Hello, my name is Francis Fox. I'm a trained remote viewer, also trained in interspecies communication. I have a degree in political science from the University of Miami. Don't get a degree in political science. It's about as useless as politicians are. I ran a successful business for 30 years. It's still around. 50 years later, I built strong foundations. I can be a little bit slow, but I get there. And if I say anything that is wrong, a mistake, I want to be corrected so that I don't continue down a path that other people are going to follow. The only reason I'm here with you today now is because I have something important to say. We are in, I believe, the fourth day of the government shutdown. Um, and if you give me a second, I'm going to show you something interesting having to do with that government shutdown and how important it is to use intuition and to look deeper into people's backgrounds so that you know what's going on. Because Darth Vader, I know you think I'm going off the deep end, Darth Vader almost sold everyone to the dark side because his mother died when he was a child. Didn't do any therapy, no mantras, zero mantras. And then he got married, or he had a woman. I think he got married, and she was sick. And so he would do whatever because of the original loss as a child, which are the deepest wounds, which usually end up being causal for the diseases that you get that kill you later on. I did studies on that. We're not going to get into that. So why are we talking about Darth Vader? Because Darth Vader was from the light, but he got sucked into the darkness because he had this deep emotional trauma. Well, guess what? This man, Hakeem Jeffries, is a victim of blackmail. He is not stupid, but he is fearful. He is being blackmailed. His mother, they're telling him his mother will be murdered, killed, accident, whatever, if he does not comply. In other words, he is not that stupid. Please don't run around saying, whoa, don't use that word. Are you giving me a break? What is important is to understand the why of things causal. Why do you get cancer? Not because you ingested a food. You get cancer, there's a causal. Cancer is due to repressed rage plus impotence. At the level where cancer starts, and then you have the different layers and different things influence. But unless you have repressed rage together with impotence, you can't do anything about it, you don't get cancer. Talking causal, I'm trying to draw your consciousness down there. This man is probably a mind control victim because I believe Schumer is part of the mind control, the part of it at the highest level. So it makes sense. And I sketched that months ago. All of us that were mind control victims were told that the person that we loved the deepest would be killed if we did not comply. When I was, by the way, all those X's are also black magic. So he wouldn't be able to think clearly at all. He can't communicate clearly. You see the X on his mouth, and then you see all the X's in his third eye. Remember the third eye where your wisdom is? Hold on. The third eye where your wisdom is? X'd out. That's why your wisdom teeth are the closest to that. Let's take them out. We don't know what they're for. I don't know what they're for, but I don't think it's a coincidence they're called wisdom teeth. So this man has been X'd out in terms of his ability to think, has been X'd out in terms of his ability to speak the truth. And he is operating from a level of fear that the person apparently that he loves the most, or maybe they just did this 30, 40 years ago, is going to get murdered if he doesn't behave. Why would I know about this? Because that's how they controlled all of us in mind control. When they shipped me off to Tibet, because I was so great, I was going to be part of the international program of mind control that originated with the Nazis, but it was the US government, military. The day they told me, and I was 10, I had to go in for that meeting. I was delivered together with my little sister. I adored her. I would die for her. And she sat on the floor. I sat on the chair, desk here, the big guy, military guy, whoever the scientist there. And they said, "Oh, you're going to be in the international and you're going to be going someplace. But," and then he shows me a picture of my sister, even though she's sitting on the floor next to me, and says, "We're always going to know where she is." Well, what do? You obey, and all the rest of you would too. You jump when it has to do with your bank account. Can you imagine if they threaten the people that you love the most? So I'm going to remove all that black magic. And I am saying this publicly. Why? To trash Schumer? He deserves to be trashed, but no, I'm saying it to help him out because I've been there. I haven't seen my family for a year and some. I haven't didn't have Christmas with them, my birthday, Thanksgiving. I may never see them again because I no question but that they're being threatened. So unless you get to the point where you say what I said like 5 years ago to my handler Rene de Villegas, just kill everybody. Just kill everybody. Where's the list? Kill everybody. And then he went and you know what he said? He said, "I'm going to do that, but I'm going to let you choose who I'm going to kill first." So bad, 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 bad people, bad people. So this should help liberate Jeffries. I don't know what his reaction is going to be. I don't really care. I will have contributed. And I knew a month, we're not going there. I did my job. That's it. Next. Let me go to another background because it's really, really, really sad. And it's not going to stop anytime soon unless you get the mind control stuff under control. Okay, continuing on. I spent the night not sleeping. The Schumann resonance is bringing in a lot of light into the planet, which means information, but in the middle of the night, you don't want all that light. And remembering and figuring things out. We're in Revelations. Revelations is not about right and wrong. Revelations is removing veils, removing the darkness, seeing what's there. And then the bottom line is, what is the truth? Well, what is the truth with this man, Jeffries? He's being blackmailed. And the United States is being blackmailed with the shutdown. But his truth is he's being blackmailed. We'll kill your mother. I don't actually think they would do that now, but I don't know. But certainly if somebody says that to you. So the truth is what matters. What is it? What is the whole thing? The whole cannabis thing is so cute. Do you know what plant looks like the cannabis? Okra. Could you tell an okra plant from a cannabis plant? Maybe not. But let me tell you what okra is good for. Regulates blood sugar, boosts immunity, great for disease, heart health, antioxidant, rich in nutrients, improves digestion, cancer, augments eye health, and 15 things more. Good for pregnancy, prevents birth defects, strengthens bones, could prevent aggression. Whoa. Now that's okra. It's a plant. Are you going to schedule okra? Why are you scheduling a plant that's like okra? Cannabis. Why was it ever scheduled? Why? What are you guys crazy? It's like mustard. It's a plant. It's a sacred plant. Now, some things, if you have too much of them, it can harm you. From what I understand, the side effect of cannabis is paranoia. No, you just don't know enough. Cannabis gently removes veils, and you can see other dimensions. If you get paranoid, it's because you're seeing spirits and bad stuff in your environment that cannabis is allowing you to see, and now you can deal with it. The first time I tried cannabis, I was in my 70s. And I asked the person who suggested that I try it to please not tell my daughter. Because she can be a little bit of a fuddy duddy, but that's because of her husband. He's a big fuddy duddy, you know. Everything has to be totally Ivy League. Let's get over that. And I tried it and I didn't feel anything. And I still don't usually feel anything when I use it. So I got my car and I went to a shopping center. I went to a food store. And I get out of the car and I always do things too fast because I'm a nervous wreck. And I'm walking and all of a sudden I look down and I had two sets of legs. I had my physical legs, then I had my astral legs for my astral body that were moving, not synchronized with my physical legs. And I looked down and I went, I think I need to slow down. In other words, my astral spirit body couldn't keep up with my physical body because my physical body is totally driven by anxiety. So we could say that's paranoia. Oh my God, look, there's a split. No. So, you guys, who's that dumb woman on TV or news that's saying that it is the worst thing since King Kong? Cannabis. How many deaths from cannabis? How many deaths from driving when you have liquor? 450,000 a year. Why are you scheduling a plant? Schedule something that's made in a lab, but don't schedule a plant. This whole scheduling thing? Schedule for what? Okay. The other plant that looks like cannabis is marigolds, which is for self-esteem and digestion. You want to schedule those? Why don't you schedule okra? I don't think I like the taste of okra anyway. You go ahead and schedule that. And don't feel stupid when I'm so sorry, but this is like crazy. When somebody knows or is aware of what's really going on in the other dimensions, you guys look like anybody can sell you a story. And then you get revelations, and then everybody gets crazy. The paradigm that is collapsing is the hierarchy paradigm. The people at the top tell the people underneath them whatever the hell they want to tell them, whatever storyline. Cannabis is the fruit of the devil. No, cannabis reduces the fruit of the devil, which is fire. Tell you the opposite, you believe it because there's a paradigm, and the guy at the top, the scientist, those are not scientists. Okay, they are not scientists. Anyway, so this is collapsing. And we're going into a circular structure of power. The collapse is supposed to be the apocalypse. Apocalypse means to unveil. So why don't you go ahead and get out of all your belief systems that you're only parroting what the people at the top said. You never tried it yourself. Like the person who told me to try the cannabis, person in their 40s, asking this 70-year-old lady to try it. And what do I say? Don't tell my daughter. Another little thing to put on the list that mom's losing it. By the way, they tried to say that in court, not my daughter. They tried to say that in court and have me under, not protective custody, what do you call it? Conservatorship, so that I couldn't handle my money because of this big money that's coming in. Somebody's going to pay for that. Somebody's going to pay for that. Anyway, we're going collapse of hierarchy, collapse of things. It says it in the Bible. Jesus Christ didn't write the Bible. Don't be throwing that book at people because half of the stuff in it you don't believe in. Quote from it where you know that what it just said was actually accurate. The Bible talks about how microwave Wi-Fi burns people and allows spirits to speak lies into them. The people that get burned by Wi-Fi. That's what's happening today. So you should quote the Bible because you can stand behind that quote. Why can I stand behind that quote in the Bible? Because I already know that. I just knew that it was so important that it would be in the Bible. So I'm not diminishing the importance of the Bible as a book of reference. But do not think that you know about Jesus Christ from the Bible because Jesus Christ was a shaman. He would have never put cannabis on the schedule. If you're going to put it on the schedule, please, morning, noon, and night, because the devil is running loose. And cannabis is your number one tool to protect from the devil. It reduces fire. It's a female plant that reduces fire. What is the food of the devil? Fire. How many people have hot heads? Half the population of the United States. What does Ayurveda and Chinese medicine say about hot heads? You know, when you put your cell phone here and your head gets hot, it's the basis for mental disease. So cannabis is the number one thing you should give to people that you think are mentally ill. Reduce that fire, and the devil can't control them. Ah, you believe in the devil, but you don't believe in spirits. What are you going to do with the ETs? Because they're not just landing, they've always been here. Some of them are going to land big, and maybe we're going to see their spaceships. What are you going to do about them? Declare them the enemy or go, what is it called, ontological shock? So why don't you start little by little and actually believe? Do not dare mention Jesus in front of me or within 50 miles of me unless you believe in spirits. Why? Because the first thing that Jesus Christ did was cast out spirits. So cast out spirits. Do you think he was jerking everybody around? Do you think he was a liar, Jesus Christ? No. So then what's your problem with spirits? Disinformation, the devil in control. But cancel all of that. Just go to what you know that he did. There's no question. He cast out spirits and he gave healings. So why don't you all learn to give healings? Stop touting Jesus Christ. Stop it. You have no right to do that unless you believe in spirits and you make an effort to learn how to heal, such as you have a plate of food in front of you, you've got a headache. Maybe try, please God help me with my intention to have this food heal my headache, to miraculously have this food heal my headache and then eat the food. I'm sure it won't work the first few times, but that's actually a centuries-old technique. I learned it from a tribe, Ayurvedic tribe, who are angelic consciousness. I don't want to hear anybody talking about Jesus Christ unless they actually do the stuff that Jesus Christ did. Do not back up Jesus Christ with the Bible because the Bible was written 300 years later, totally controlled by the Vatican. You don't like the Vatican. What the hell are you doing? Throwing the Bible at people. Why am I so angry? Because I've been witnessing this for decades. And you guys are a little bit slowpokes. Because we can make a difference and not have an apocalyptic change of paradigm predicted in the Bible if you can shift your consciousness quickly. What is the best thing for that? Cannabis. Oh, that's a food of the devil. I don't know. Slowpokes. Slowpokes. So we're going to have the apocalypse exactly as they predicted. Now, something big was supposed to happen in September. It didn't happen. Something big is going to happen now. There's something big happening. There's a big shift from male-dominated hierarchy. It could be male energy in a female body to circular community. What the hell are we doing scheduling cannabis? What are we doing? I'm going to give you a little bit of perspective, and I've been wondering whether I should tell this story, and I'm going to ask my masters to give me a sign, tell me, do it, I'm going to tell it. It's just a cute story to end this. I have brought in monks several times, most of the time paying for it myself, to do sand mandalas, which is beautiful art made out of pieces of sand in colors, bits of sand in colors, grains of sand in colors. I can't even speak correctly. And most people, when they would come to the events, if they came when I invited them, it was like a cultural event. Great. So I invited a friend of mine, and she went, no, but I want you to come to my Christian church. I said, fine. I went to a Christian church. It was 10 o'clock at night, and they did something that was very beautiful. They stood up in a circle. I don't know, maybe there were 25 people. I don't really know. And for 2 hours, everybody was doing their thing. Some people were speaking in tongues that I don't get. To me, that is doing something that's not ethical. You could be channeling a part of you, or there could be an entity or a spirit that's not you that comes in and then talks to your mouth. That's not good. You're not supposed to, ethically, nothing is supposed to come into your system but you. You can have a spirit next to you. You can deal with it, whatever. So for 2 hours, I liked it because what I did was a mantra. We were standing up. Everybody was in circle. I liked it. I liked it. Actually, I loved it. So when we finished, my friend said to me, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "I really enjoyed this." I was kind of like this because I know the way she felt about me and my belief systems, even though I know that she had affection for me, and I certainly have affection for her. So somebody from the other side of the circle came over and said, "Oh my God, I have to tell you something." And I thought, "Oh my God, they're going to railroad me out of here." Buddhism is not a religion. I wasn't doing Buddhism. I was doing a mantra, which is centuries old from before Buddhism. And I was doing my own kind of mantra, which quick. I don't want a spiritual mantra. I want to fix something today. So I grabbed onto my friend so she could defend me in case this woman reamed me for whatever. And the woman said to me, "I have never seen so much light in a person. You're like this total channel of light." And I'm like this, and my friend is like this. She said, "I've never seen this. Oh my God, you have got to turn yourself over to Jesus." Why would I turn myself over to Jesus? I'm already walking with Jesus. Jesus didn't believe in hierarchy. Why would I turn myself over to Jesus? That's what they know. Okay. How do I tell her that if Jesus had been running this little event, which I loved, it would have been outside, outdoors? And it wouldn't have had to be at 10 o'clock at night when people weren't noticing. And I thought it was beautiful because I did my thing and I felt great. And it felt community. I liked it. But now you take your light and you turn it over to somebody else. Meanwhile, they're throwing the Bible at everybody. And I obviously don't fit the description of somebody that should be whatever. I did not take that as an insult, but I should have taken it as an insult. And actually, my friend is very bright. But in this situation, she's a follower. So, what should I do with my light? Maybe what I'm doing now, which is trying to spread it with information, which, by the way, light is information. And there's a lot of light coming into the planet according to the Schumann resonance, which means we're getting a lot of information that's almost killing us. It will kill us. So, I just gave you more information or bottom line information on what's going on with the government shutdown, which is the main player, or at least the one that stands up the most from what I can see, because it's not Schumer, it's Hakeem Jeffries, is being blackmailed. So if you think those little parodies or memes or however, whatever you call them, they've got to be painful, but the most painful thing is the same thing that had Darth Vader almost deliver us to the darkness, which was a profound love of mother and people that know that and say, "You know what we're going to do to your mother if you do not perform." Now, what do I think? Did I make his life more difficult? Probably in terms of Hakeem's thought process. Did I make his mother safer? Yes. Do I think that they would dare do anything to his mother at this point? I don't think so. But if they did, you know what? Maybe I helped a lot of other people out there. Like I have a granddaughter that in her school, she had to spend days sketching her mother. Why? Like I had to sketch when I was on the military base, Rhein Air Force Base in Germany. I had to sketch Mickey Mouse day in and day out until I perfected him. And Mickey Mouse is one of the major programs. You know where he's going down the stairs with a broom and a mop, and he goes down there, Fantasia something, and he's yeah, Mickey Mouse is a ditz. And in my opinion, I've said it before, Mickey Mouse has been the symbol of the United States for several decades. And I think that's going to turn around under Trump. So anyway, I'm sorry I'm all hepped up, but honestly, the thing with this poor man and me very upset because it's reminding me of my life. Okay, my group went back to the hospital in Miami that's Catholic. It's next to Grove Isle on the water. And the only reason I was there is because several days ago they were doing black magic, which ended up being a satanic ritual in the morgue of that hospital. That's the only reason I went there. I'm not here to disclose things on people other than to help out and it having something to do with me or this country, whatever. So we went there, and it turns out that when we were there, bringing in light, taking the crown of thorns off of everybody so that they could actually see, I saw like a small earthquake in the entrance of that property, which is very, very large, the property. An earthquake just in the entrance of the, what, that doesn't make any sense. And then we were two or 300 people, and somebody said, yeah, they're using the machines to create a natural catastrophe, but it was limited to the entrance of the property. That makes sense, but it kind of like is overwhelming. My conclusion from a lot of this is not just that the fact that we saw that they do organ harvesting in the hospital. They kill people prematurely because they already sold the organ and the person maybe is not cooperating by dying. They do satanic rituals. They had the first day I went, and I only went because I could see they were doing something to me right then and there. It was 4 days ago. It's all on YouTube. They had a body in the morgue, and the doctor cut it top to bottom, and inside they were putting pictures of me, but upside down, with my head down and my feet up, several pictures, and then other papers with prayers or something on it. Anyway, I kind of stopped that, and that's where we went in deeper, and they had refrigerators with organs, and then it was connected to the Vatican, and so we went to the Vatican, and all hell's breaking loose there. And then we came back to the hospital, and they're into the selling organs business. The good news is that they pre-sold, and they can't deliver the organs now. Nobody's going to do anything about that, of that nature in that hospital now. But it turns out, and so what about the people who prepaid? Well, I think we're going to have some problems here. But the ambulance drivers are the ones that are talking to, I guess they are ambulance drivers, and they work for more than one hospital. So that news is spreading through the ambulance drivers. And how much plays out in the physical dimension? I don't know, but there is no way it's going to be business as usual. There is no way it's going to be business as usual, which means our families are going to be safer. And I have to say, this whole thing with donating organs, this doesn't work. This is when it's your time to leave, it's your time to leave. And I suggest you go to alternative medicine. Don't stick with American medical doctors, because you will surely die a horrific death because they don't know anything about the spirit. They try to keep you along too long. They kill your consciousness when you're in your process of dying, which means when your physical body dies, you wake up and you are all confused. So the devil has a much larger army of people that worked with American medical doctors because they don't know anything about death and dying. There's a tiny book called Dying, Death, Reincarnation, whatever. I read it. I don't understand a thing. It's Buddhist, but I know it's very important. So why am I saying this now? Because honestly, if you don't know you guys don't even know what death is. You think that if they stop breathing, they're dead. Turns out you have 3 days to be really dead. Your physical body is nothing. It's the energy bodies that vitalize it. The body that vitalizes it is the etheric, which is your personal Higgs field. Layers and layers of grids. But that takes 72 hours to die. So you're doing autopsies on people that still could be alive. This is not new news, okay? I'm just sharing bits and pieces. I want to horrify you guys and shake you out of the paradigm that has been god-awful to us. Okay? I'm going to say goodbye because I actually am late for my next thing, which is my horoscopes, remote viewed horoscopes in Spanish. Okay? Bye. Pray for Hakeem that he be strong enough to face whoever it is that's threatening it. Now, I think if you look at what goes on TV, you can kind of know who his friends are. You'll know who's threatening him.